And now, our feature presentation.
That's why I want Phob the Magnificent, with the ha and the hi-ya that are significant. That dragon hasn't eaten since that fateful day, thanks to B-A-R-T. Okay.
All right, everyone, welcome to our feature presentation. And today we're going to be talking about the movie Bartok the Magnificent from 1999. I'm here today with Phob, and Phob, what was your thoughts on Bartok the Magnificent?
It was a movie from my childhood. I guess I should... for some reason, we've made the decision to pretty much exclusively watch movies from my childhood, but even more specifically, movies from my childhood that were sequels and spin-offs from beloved original animated content, like Bartok is, as you know, a spin-off of Don Bluth's Anastasia. He's
actually a prequel.
Rasputin's little sidekick.
Yeah, and Anastasia, we've never talked about Don Bluth before, so I don't think anyone knows our thoughts on Don Bluth, but I love his
Other
movies.
than he has a vor fetish, obviously.
Either that is his fetish or he helped start it. I wouldn't know which one it is, but it's very possible it is his because it's in like a lot of his movies, including this one.
A lot of stuff to do with mouths, big drippy gaping maws.
That's true. He's very. I mean, I don't mean anything when I say this. I'm just saying he's very good at drawing mouths.
Yeah.
I really like his movies a lot. He's not like a lot of his movies aren't flawless, and he's made a lot of ones that aren't very good. But as far as like lesser known animators, he's probably like the biggest name. I would say the biggest name in animation besides Walt Disney.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, unless you're talking about like anime or something. But as far as like
but that's not real.
Yeah,
That doesn't
anime's
count.
not real. But in America, like, because when I think of animators, like, one of the first names that comes to mind is always Don Bluth.
Mm-hmm. I mean, what more is there to say about Bartok? Did you say it was a prequel?
It is a prequel.
That's so... It's kind of messed up when you think about it.
It is messed up.
It's kind of... It illustrates his fall from grace, because he starts as like a street urchin, or a street performer, who's like, scamming people, and then it goes up to him like finally being able to become the hero that he knew he could be, and then he's the sidekick to an evil villain.
It's even weirder because there's no like build up to that or anything. It just you just assume a lot happened between those two movies.
Yeah, his bear friend died. Sideshow Bob
true.
the bear died.
Yeah,
sorry. I was gonna say that's a lawful good Sideshow Bob. He actually is pretty much the same character, except a bear, and also not evil.
I mean, we should probably say what the plot of this movie is, because I think people have no idea what we're talking... I mean, guessing chances are if you clicked on this video, you have seen Bartok, but if you haven't, basically the plot is that a young Tsar is captured in Russia, and Bartok the Magnificent, who is a albino bat and a traveling street performer, is asked to go and save him from the Baba Yaga, who they believed captured him. And that's basically the plot. And then they go on a bunch of like mini quests for the Baba Yaga, and it's kind of like multiple movies in one if you think about it.
This movie is kind of an example of the fetch quest genre of movies that we haven't seen
with
a
Rough
lot
Rough
of.
Man.
Because it's like because the idea of the plot is that there is a there's a goal, there's an overarching goal, but the only way to achieve that goal is to go on like smaller separate adventures that have their own closed arcs. So it's kind of like a bunch of episodes from a TV show put into one, except if it was like if it had a continuous plot, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like I think an example of that would Dougal count as an example of that?
Dougal? I don't remember what happens in Dougal.
Because that was another movie from my childhood I watched a ton of.
I remember
And
Dougal.
of course I watched the Kevin Smith cut. The best cut.
Kevin
That guy
Smith
made
cut.
Clerks,
Kevin Smith had his own cut of Dougal.
Yeah, the Kevin Smith cut. It's the one with the moose.
He was the best part of that movie.
Yeah, it's the Kevin Smith cut. The advertising on that, like that on the bar.
Dougal Kevin Smith cut.
But that was, I think, also an example of that, because it's like if you go on an adventure to go on and grab a bunch of separate items to go and get the last item or the last thing, I consider that like a fetch quest movie. And I can't think of a lot of examples of that, but I know in my childhood that was my favorite thing in a movie, when they went on like multiple smaller adventures to get stuff.
I mean, it's like a video game.
Oh yeah, I love
like
video
Zelda
games.
Or something.
I'm good at video games.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah.
I suck. But this is actually like, from what I've looked up about it, there's been a ton of like, spin-offs and mostly sequels to like Don Bluth stuff, especially with Land Before Time. But
Yeah.
Bartok is the only sequel or prequel or spin-off or whatever to any of his movies that Don Bluth actually worked on. And it shows, because the animation in this is actually really it's really well done for a direct-to-video film.
Mm-hmm. That's like one of the things that's the songs in it aren't that bad.
That's true.
And also a lot of weird, but not bad, but just like very strange voice actor choices. Like they got Sideshow Bob, obviously they got Frasier,
They got Jennifer Tilly.
and they got oh, sorry, you.
I was just saying
Tilly.
I like Jennifer Tilly a lot, but that's just because I'm a big fan of the Chucky movies.
And they got just for like a bit part, the guy who runs the hotel in Home Alone 2. Everybody's favorite.
Oh, what crap! I don't remember that.
You forgot his name already?
It was Tim Curry.
Yeah, it's Tim Curry. That's
Okay.
because I've watched a lot of movies with Tim Curry in it, but that, for some reason, that is the definitive character when I think of Tim Curry.
I mean, to be fair, he's not in makeup or anything in that role, so I guess it kind of makes sense that being like the one role. I mean, I always think of him being Pennywise from the original It.
Because I love the thing he does. He goes,
He's great at doing that.
It's his thing, and I love it.
You gotta help me. There's two guys after me.
What's the matter? Store wouldn't take your stolen credit card?
He voice acted in like everything back in the 90s.
Like what?
Well, 90s and early 2000s. The only one I can think of off the top of my head, he was in Fern Gully. He was like the villain in that. And then he was in Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost. He was the villain in that.
Yeah, Bartok. It's such a strange movie. Like, well, it's because it has the good animation, the crazy voice, not crazy, but it's, interesting voice cast, songs. The plot takes place in Russia, obviously, because it's a prequel to Anastasia, but it's,
of course.
You don't see a lot of animated movies that take place in Russia. I don't know if that's like a talking point
That's
at all.
true.
I just think that's kind of interesting, because we always think of, when you think of anime movies taking place in other places, there's like a couple that I always think of, which is like England, right, Britain, and maybe like a lot of coastal areas.
Maybe
never, like,
China, like Mulan.
Yeah. East Asia a lot too, yeah. Like Mulan. She takes place in Japan.
Was Milan China or Japan?
It's China. I was messing with.
Okay. Because I was pretty sure it was China, and I was just starting to doubt myself. But yeah, I think it plays a lot with like Russian lore though, like the Baba Yaga, and then they have like do they have anything else? There's like a dumb goblin guy, or
Oh yeah, dumb goblin guy.
I don't know where that is from.
Classic Russian folklore. Big old red goblin dude. Love
Yeah.
that guy.
Watching this movie though just made
Pink
me want
Snake?
to read. It's true.
Is that from Russian folk?
Yes. Everything from this movie is from Russian folklore, including Sideshow Bob Bear.
And Bartok. He's actually a key role in the Russian creation myth.
This movie is called Bart. Okay.
Did you know that Bartok is an anagram for Tarbko?
Tarbko. That sounds like an evil corporation.
Their chemical runoff is the reason why Bartok is pale.
They dump tar into like the ocean or something.
Is
Tarbko.
that their whole thing?
Yes.
Tarbko.
That's what evil corporations do in cartoons and stuff.
That's
they
what
just
evil
dump
corporations do in in Captain Planet.
That's true. That's all they do.
Captain Planet takes place in the Bartok universe. You actually can see him in episode 4 in the background. He's one of the bats that gets killed by Duke Nukem.
Do you have anything else to say about like Bartok the Magnificent? Because I think we might be wrapping it up about now.
Full disclosure, you can keep this in if you want, but full disclosure, we had an entire conversation about this like a day or two ago.
It was like 3 days ago.
And all of the audio was just garbage, trash, stink, toilet water. So we couldn't use it at all. And so I have I feel like all my talking points, all my good ones were taken up in the first one.
To be fair, we talked a lot more about Super Troopers 2 than we did talk about Bartok.
Oh yeah, we talked about how much I hate Super Troopers 2, which we don't have time to talk about tonight. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I know you guys want to hear my thoughts on Super Troopers 2, but
Yes, we all want to hear that. Sorry, we gotta go now.
Yep. Don't have much to say on Bartok other than it probably inspired a lot of fetishes in some very small and impressionable children during the dragon transformation scene.
Yeah. Alright, see you everyone. Bye.
Bye.